Today on Sports Central, we got some big-time college football news for you, and this is about D'Eriq King. Of course, as you may know at this point, he was the Houston quarterback the last couple of seasons, and he has transferred to Miami now, and he decided to redshirt his 2019 season after Houston got off to a tough start. That was just so that he could have another year of eligibility, which would make sense, obviously, if you're a quarterback that wanted to win, which in this case, D'Eriq King certainly is. And that's why it really surprises me that he headed to Miami of all places. I mean, if you want to have a good winning season, Miami probably isn't the school that you want to go to right now. I don't think Miami is as complete of a team as you could be to possibly head to an ACC championship quite yet. So that does kind of surprise me, and we'll get to more about that in a sec. But nonetheless, yeah, there was a possibility that he would return to Houston this season. But instead he decided to transfer to Miami in the end. Once again, that is a little bit surprising to me. I mean, there were several other options that he could have done. But he had quite a good 2018 season overall. I mean, he had nearly 3,000 yards. He had just under that, and he had a 36-6 touchdown interception ratio, which is certainly very impressive. I mean, 36 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Obviously, this quarterback in 2018 was really, really good for Houston. And obviously, when he redshirted his 2019 season, that certainly did hurt Houston. But yeah, in the end, I mean, he's a great quarterback, and I think he'll help Miami a ton. But nonetheless, he should deserve more, in my opinion, than to go into a mess in Miami. I mean, this team isn't playing as well. I mean, there are several other better options, like Oregon. Justin Herbert, of course, is gone now. They need a quarterback under center for them. And then Oklahoma as well. I mean, Jalen Hurts is gone too. So there are so many other options that D'Eriq King could have done. And that's why it kind of surprised me that he headed to Miami. But of course, I mean, who knows? He could completely excel in Miami. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting. But I mean, it would have been kind of ironic if he would have gone to Oklahoma too. Because if you think about it, I mean, they had Baker Mayfield a couple years ago. Then they had Kyler Murray. Then they get Jalen Hurts to come in. And it would have been absolutely crazy if they could have gotten D'Eriq King for the 4th consecutive year of having a big-time quarterback that could easily do very well in the NFL. But nonetheless, he ends up going to Miami. That just would have been ironic. But nonetheless, I mean, yeah, if it was evident he wanted to win, once again, it does surprise me he would go to Miami. And it could be a little bit of a risky decision as well. I mean, of course, in Oklahoma and Oregon, there would be some competition for the quarterback position. But in Miami, there's a lot of competition for that. Of course, they got Jarren Williams, they got N'Kosi Perry, Tate Martell. So certainly it is not going to be a very easy goal to get the starting quarterback position for Miami next season. Of course, Tate Martell, he had transferred in last season from Ohio State, and it looked like he was going to get that starting position easily, like no doubt. I mean, he was a very talented quarterback, but he was a big bust last season. He really surprised me. He actually was the 3rd string quarterback out of Jarren Williams and N'Kosi Perry. Both of them, Williams and Perry, were able to get some good action. Of course, Jarren Williams had over 2,100 yards. He had 19 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So overall, he was the main quarterback for this team last year. And then N'Kosi Perry had over 1,000 yards himself as well. 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions though too. So I mean, Tate Martell didn't get any action at all. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen to King in this situation, but you also got to consider that D'Eriq King skipped out on his 2019 season. That could create a little bit of rust in the beginning of the season, certainly. I mean, when you skip an entire season, that could be a little bit detrimental to you. And of course, once again, he had a great 2018 season, over or nearly 3,000 yards and 36 touchdowns. So, I mean, I think he's bound for a great season if he does win that starting quarterback position. But really, I mean, there's no promises by going to Miami because they got a whole bunch of competition. And who knows? I mean, Jarren Williams, they return all 3 of these quarterbacks too, and they're all very young. I mean, Jarren Williams is going to be only a sophomore, and once again, he had the most yards on this team last season. N'Kosi Perry will be a junior, and same for Tate Martell. So, and of course, now this is going to be his last year of eligibility. So, for D'Eriq King, that could also give him a little bit of an edge as to getting the starting quarterback position. But who knows what could happen at this point? It is still really early on. But once again, it just kind of surprises me that he would pick, if he wanted to win, he could easily go to Oregon and Oklahoma. And if he went to Oregon, they could easily be a college football playoff contender right off the bat. And same for Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma in the Big 12 has always been very dominant, and they've still got a lot of talent there. And then, I mean, once again, it's also a very easy route too. I mean, for Oregon and Oklahoma, it would certainly be an easier job or an easier starting job to get than as if you went to Miami, which is another thing that just really surprises me in this situation. And I mean, in the end, yeah, Tate Martell was quite honestly bust. And it looked like he'd get the full starting job in 2019, so who knows? I mean, Derek King might not even get the starting position in Miami. We'll have to see. But once again, though, it will be really interesting to see how the quarterback situation turns out. This would be something that I'm very, very interested to looking at as we get into spring and get into the summer and we start to learn more about these quarterbacks. But nonetheless, in the end, I think King will end up winning the starting position. He's got to be highly motivated if he went to Miami. I mean, there's probably some personal connection there if he went to Miami. Yeah, he'll want to play very well, certainly. And once again, it still won't be easy, but I think he'll play great, and I think he'll be a great quarterback for Miami. And as for looking forward for Miami, I think that this team, it all depends on how Derek King does. If he can play like how he did in 2018, I think this Miami team certainly will improve next season. You could expect them to possibly get 8 wins, honestly, next year. Of course, we'll go over more about this in Miami's schedule preview, which will be coming up in a few weeks. But nonetheless, I think Miami's honestly bound for a pretty good season next year. He could have taken the easy route, but he decided to go to Miami, which honestly, that's awesome for him. I'm glad that he's a quarterback that will go out and help more of a lower tier organization at this point. But nonetheless, once again, he is a very talented quarterback, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I'd really look forward to seeing what you guys think about this. Of course, it kind of surprised me, but I think it's great for Miami in the end. I think he'll be overall a very beneficial thing for Miami to be able to land Derek King. But nonetheless, once again, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you guys think, and be sure to show some support if you'd like to. I'd really appreciate that. And stay tuned for more content from All Sports Central, and I will see you all later.